happened.
This one might be a stretch, but I like that Aang's room shares a lot of similarities with Zuko's room when he had a ship. Similar furniture, these banners, this tapestry. I know what you're saying, all the cabins in these ships probably look like that. But with how far this episode goes to parallel Zuko and Aang, I don't necessarily think it's a coincidence.
You hear something? He's awake!
This is pretty weird. I guess if you were watching this for the first time and you for some reason had Pipsqueak and the Duke in your head going into this, knew Pipsqueak's voice, and you somehow caught these few frames of his face, I guess you could have put together the fact that it's a captured ship about 6 seconds before it's revealed. I guess there's no reason to have it not be Pipsqueak, but like, why is it Pipsqueak? Oh, and there goes the staff. You'll notice that Katara's clothes are actually still beat up from the battle beneath Ba Sing Se throughout this episode, as well as Aang only having this overcoat thing because Azula literally blew the shirt off his back. Ah, book 3. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
It's been so long, over 3 years since I was home. I wonder what's changed. I wonder how I've changed.
I just asked if you were cold. I didn't ask for your whole life story. Stop worrying.
Oh, okay. As far as the whole Zuko Mei thing goes, I'm not a shipper, as you would say, so basically I don't care at all. If you think Zuko and Mei are a bad couple, I'm sure you'll accost me in the comments about it, though.
I like your hair. I have hair?
Oh yeah, I never noticed that.
I'm Hakoda, Katara and Sokka's father.
Nice to officially meet you, Chief Hakoda.
It's an honor to meet you.
Yeah, do a manly forearm handshake. I like that this is just a fucked, ugly looking scar. Tells the story on its own how hard Aang got hit. And most people I've seen see this for the first time literally go,
Tell me where your pain feels most intense. A little higher. I was gone, but you brought me back. I just used the spirit water from the North Pole. I don't know what I did exactly. You saved me.
Did they make Aang say this like this and pose like this to seem weirdly, I don't know, sensual? Is it just me who has always gotten a weird feeling from this line?
Together they faced the Avatar, and the Avatar fell!
I really like the idea of using Lo and Lee to give some exposition in the form of an address to the Fire Nation capital. It feels really organic, and it's a fun way to get some much needed info across. And it's fun to listen to because you've got these two weird psychic twin old ladies doing it. That being said, they must be able to yell like really loud. Here's the tea shop Iroh and Zuko first worked at, complete with their old boss Pow and Jin, the girl who Zuko went on a date with, probably still hanging around hoping to see him again. And here's the Hope Baby family from the Serpent's Pass. Who are you people? And why did they copy and paste you 3 times in this shot? And you guys over here twice?
After what happened in Ba Sing Se, we had to get you to safety.
In this one quick little shot, everyone is looking forwards or towards the badly hurt Aang, while the Earth King looks back on his fallen city. That's a nice touch.
The Earth King decided he wanted to travel the world in disguise, so he set off alone.
What? You're not allowed to do that. You're a world leader. I guess that's one way to write a character out of your show, guys, but geez, it's pretty heavy-handed.
Soon the bay was overrun with Fire Nation ships. Rather than fight them all, we captured a single ship and made it our disguise.
Okay guys, we better put on our stealing ships masks, otherwise it doesn't count. Wow, this map is super updated. The one Saga had a solid stretch of land for the Serpent's Pass, but this one is even updated to include the underwater section.
So we're planning a smaller invasion. Just a ragtag team of our friends and allies from around the Earth Kingdom. We already ran into Pipsqueak and the Duke.
Yeah, that's weird, right? Pipsqueak and the Duke are a very odd duo. How did you run into them? Where? They weren't hanging out with Jet anymore, so in what situation did you run into them? And if they weren't hanging out with Jet, were they even still freedom fighters? You guys weren't even really allies in the first place. You convinced them to join the invasion with no problem? So many questions. Also, weird to mention now, just thought of it, you'll notice that Sokka's hair has grown out since last season.
I'll handle this. The Avatar is back.
Ah, my liver! Where I was shot by lightning! Where do these enormous pits that even Appa can hide in come from? I've never seen those on a Fire Nation ship. I've never even seen those on this Fire Nation ship.
Well, nice of Admiral Chan to let us know he was sending one of his ships our way. I mean, how hard is it to write a quick note and send a hawk our way?
Sir, Admiral Chan has been on leave for 2 months at Ember Island.
What? Why doesn't anyone ever tell me anything?
For some reason, I really like this guy. This guy seems genuinely frustrated, and I think that's really funny. So immediately, everyone is fucking insane in this season, right? Katara especially. Like, I get she's been pretty good at waterbending for a while now, but when did she level up so hard that she has the ability to push ships this size around? Must have been a crazy few weeks while Aang was out. Zuko sits at the same spot on this pond in which he has this nice memory with his mom. Speaking of that memory, I know it's not a rock. For some reason, I let people in my comment section convince me it was a rock, even though all logic dictates it's not a rock. And I was already of the opinion it was a loaf of bread. I'm never listening to you guys again. Alright, with that out of the way, it's weird that these turtle ducks are just eating rocks, right? They're also naturally afraid of Azula because of the way she feeds them, presumably.
Unless you think he somehow miraculously survived.
No. There's no way he could have survived.
This is some really great ingenuity from Azula to parse that the Avatar might still be alive just from this. And I think it's another moment that speaks to how great of a villain she is. I needed more of this in her coup, and less of the Dai Li flipping for no reason.
Load the top!
Alright, there's no feasible way that Toph aimed this purposefully, right? Knowing what we know about how she sees, she definitely just went, "Hyah!" and said, man, I hope that hits something or someone important. I'm even willing to entertain the idea that she can sense airborne Earth if it was bent while on the same planet as her, or at least she's smart enough to calculate its speed and trajectory. But this, a boulder sent flying from a different ship, floating in the ocean, flung by a catapult, no chance she has any idea where this is, right? And if that's the case, this is just more dumb luck. Where the hell were these things in Season 1? The tanks had similar contraptions on them at one point, but you would have thought Zhao would have asked for more of these crazy boat-destroying harpoons, right? I guess this goes back to the fact that there's no Earth Kingdom Navy we ever see or even hear from.
I'm gonna give us some cover.
Yeah, Katara really pulls some pretty enormous moves here that cover like very wide areas, and she never really does anything of this scale again for the most part. Maybe like this, I guess? The Duke sees this fireball coming and grabs Toph to get out of the way. Good guy, Duke.
I told you, it's the Duke.
Either that was the worst fireball ever, or the captain of that ship said, attack the giant sea serpent that is also attacking the ship we're attacking. Make an enemy of that giant monster immediately. And they hit for pretty much 100% while blind, so I gotta assume that was it.
You don't want people to think you failed.
You're right, I don't. But the problem is, I did fail.
Aang being so hard on himself works really well. Remember back when that old fisherman was on him for disappearing? Well now, to him, the whole world is gonna be that level of stoked on him, which is soundly unstoked.
Remember, there's still a plan. The invasion.
And I hate the invasion plan too. I don't want you or anyone else risking your lives to fix my mistakes.
This fire tapestry falls over Aang's staff, which is the same kind of thing that happens at the end of the episode. Some people say this is foreshadowing, but you don't really foreshadow something that happens 5 minutes later. I think this is more metaphorical, that Aang is actually going to have to give up his airbender/avatar identity and create a new one that can fit in with the Fire Nation. Now I know that's pretty much the same as what he concludes at the end of the episode, but what I'm saying is that it's two visual points leading to the same conclusion, not one point leading to another.
I need to redeem myself. I need my honor back.
I feel like there might be some sort of symbolism here, but I just can't figure it out. This is a really nice shot. We get to see Zuko pausing before entering the throne room, nervous. Much unlike the last time we saw him try and enter the throne room, when he was young and he tried to barge in through some guards. Clearly the weight of entering this room is not lost on him.
I brought you some food. Oh no.
The question here is, what is Aang's plan? I get that he's acting out desperately, but if he did have a plan, what is it? We see him pass by the very blockade they passed to go into the Fire Nation waters in Season 1, so he's going towards the Fire Nation. Is his plan literally to go kick Ozai's ass right now?
See, the weight of your travels has changed you. You have redeemed yourself, my son. Welcome home.
What an ingenious idea to let the audience finally see Ozai, only when Zuko finally gets to see him again. Like, that's so cool. What an awesome way to make us sympathize with Zuko even more. I also just really like this reveal as well. It's not some giant moment, it's very low-key, and you'd think for the reveal for the final boss would be anything but that. So I think that works against your expectations really well. And you guys know by this point that I really like that this show knows when to make a moment quiet rather than loud.
And I know the world needs him, but doesn't he know how much that we need him too? How can you just leave us behind?
You're talking about me too, aren't you?
This scene is fucking incredible, man. What the hell? Mae Whitman's voice acting is amazing, and it's such a nuanced and real struggle to have. To understand the logic behind something, but still be hurt that it happened. Hell yeah, man. This show explores such interesting places emotionally. And check out the differences and similarities between these two scenes. We have a father who had to leave his children behind for what he believed was his duty, and for their betterment, having a very warm and loving reunion with his daughter. But then immediately we cut to a reunion in which the father purposefully and hatefully sent his son away, and it's very cold and distant. That's a really cool juxtaposition they set up.
She said she was amazed and impressed with your power and ferocity. at the moment of truth.
Notice how in this shot it's framed like really close to Zuko's face, almost awkwardly close. I think it's to make him look like he did back in season 1. Right now Zuko is feeling threatened by what Azula told her dad, and he's probably thinking that things could easily go back to the way things were back then. So I think this is here to visually represent that feeling. Damn, Aang's still pretty athletic for having a nondescript lightning injury. Oh, and there goes the staff.
Unless somehow the Avatar was actually alive.
I've heard rumors that Grey Delisle, the voice actress for Azula, once said that she played this scene as if she was trying to seduce Zuko, like from a voice acting standpoint, and just like, ugh. Azula lays down on top of her blankets here, but then in the next shot, she's under them.
Wilson! Wilson, I'm sorry!
Roku?
You haven't failed, Aang.
Are spirits affected by wind? So remember how there was that giant problem about getting to Roku's statue in time before the solstice ended so they could talk? Well, seemingly now Roku can just kind of show up, so that makes that episode kind of weird now, right?
You already saved the world.
Okay, you know, the moon can look relatively full for 2 nights in a row sometimes. That's fine. What's up, Yue? Yue actually seemingly stops the rain here.
You're right. I won't give up.
This might be the weirdest moment that I think actually earns the Avatar theme. It's not a giant moment, but somehow I feel like it still works. Maybe it's because Aang, the Avatar, said something cool. Maybe that's all it takes. Also, you'll notice in this shot that Yue actually helps Aang by raising even more water to help him on his way. If you wanted any more evidence that that was the same blockade from season 1, Aang ends up on the same island that they went to after passing it for the first time, the island that Roku messed up. Ah, your knees!
Hey, what's...
Finally, Aang is punished for his gross negligence when it comes to his glider. Finally, justice is served. It's weird small face Aang. The only true counter to him is weird big face Aang from season 1. This is just an awesome visual, and once again, metaphor for Aang giving up his identity. Very well done. Wait, why am I getting sentimental for a stick? This is an awesome season premiere. This is easily the most adult season in sense of tone, and this entire episode sets that tone perfectly. Honestly, there's very little comedy, and I think that's on purpose. There are very emotional reunions, damaged pride, and broken families. This is very heavy stuff, and this episode executes all of it really well, and leaves the audience waiting for more because of it. Patron shoutouts, if you want to be 2 episodes ahead of the YouTube releases, you can support me on Patreon for just a few bucks. Link, as always, is in the description below the video. The one biggest shoutout of all conceivable shoutouts goes to Luke Herrera, who, like, I don't even know how to give him big enough of a shoutout. I gotta think of something in the future. That dude's bank account is the size of a mountain. Other biggest shoutouts go to my other top patrons, etc., whose Wikipedia page is only 2 words long, and it reads pretty sick. Andrew Edwards, who landed the first 1440 on a skateboard yesterday. Charlie Rock Quigley, international man of mystery. Chase Brignac, who can kill with a thought. Fetch Me Something Gay, who has the uncanny ability to talk forwards and backwards at the same time. Fritz Sullivan, interplanetary man of enigmas. Kennedy Stapleton, whose birth was foretold in ancient pagan prophecies. Max Lewandowski, Tech Deck world champion. Mike the Wizard, otherwise known as El Diablo on the dodgeball court. Sad Wallet Noises, who has been secretly worshipped by a small cave-dwelling species of humanoid creatures for years now without knowing it. Skylos can talk to frogs. Sudoku Boy, who discovered the 5th and 7th dimension. Still working on the 6th, though. Tommy, aka Underfoot, who, if looks could kill, he'd probably just stay inside because he wouldn't want to hurt anyone. Wolfman Dan, who came 2nd place in the 2nd place world championship, so I think he won? And You Freaking Nerd, who has a jawline that was sculpted by Michelangelo himself. Even more huge shoutouts go to my other top patrons: Aiden Aguirre, Alex Fritz, Be My Valentine, Bingo Dingo, Cabbage Gal, Canine Corpse, Kevin Yagi, Code Canuck, Derek Cornwell, DJ Jax, Do Mutual Aid, Dr. Uwu, Distant, Earth 2 John, Eleonora Rose, Xmar, Glintlock, Homie Juan Kenobi, Jeremy Rubenstein, Jimbo, Lehman Russ, Martin Jano, 1210, Mitchell Gobrecht, Mortius 007, Nicholas Abbott, Knock, Papa Jaka, Peter Bayron, Picker, Gas, Rummy B, Skylar JB, Spaghetti Hose, Steinwan, Steven Smart, Super Snipper, Tentabat, The Rainy Man on Heelys, Tiago Nascimento, Triad Juice, William Stringer, and Zoopy. Next up is the headband and Kick Off Your Sunday Shoes.